Hey guys, Sally here. Hope you're having an amazing and fascinating day. I know I am. Thanks for stopping by. I really appreciate that you take your time to watch my videos and leave your comments and subscribe and, hit the notification bell and all of the stuff that you do. And in fact, as many of you know, I've been on my journey for reaching the goal where I am finally being able to be monetized by YouTube. I'm getting there. I still need like 600 and some watch hours, I think. But the thing that got opened up today was that now I can get super stickers and super chats on lives and all that kind of stuff. So that's kind of cool. And so once again, I want to thank you for, you know, everything you've done to support me along the way and will continue to do, I'm sure. So what are we doing today? I am super excited about this. We have a brand new thing that I have installed in my RV. So I'm going to take you into my bedroom this morning. Uh-huh. Yeah. Never thought that was going to happen, did we? But we're going to go ahead and what I did, I bought a Micro Air Easy Touch RV thermostat. I'm going to show you the installation and then stay through all the way to the end because I'm going to share with you all of the things this thing does and why I think it's better than having a Waggle pet monitor for a couple of different reasons. All right, let's roll the intro and get right into it. Okay guys, here we are in my bedroom. Never thought you'd be here, did you? So let me show you what we got going on here. This is a Dometic thermostat, and it's pretty stupid. It's not a smart device at all. This is the servo panel for my power system, and what I'm going to do is replace this thermostat with this thermostat. Pretty smart. So first thing I got to do is get this one off. Actually, the first thing I want to do is shut off the power. It's 12 volt. I think the likelihood of frying myself is pretty daggone insignificant. However, I'm going to be dealing with bare wires, and if I happen to cross wires, I could end up with, what do you call it? Oh, blowing a fuse, and then I gotta go chase that down. So if I just turn off the power, I won't have of that. So let's get to it. And the way that I'm going to do it is by going into my multi-plus, which is in float mode at the moment, and I'm going to go to switch, and it currently says my switch is on. I'm going to just turn it off. So I don't have any AC loads coming in, and then I'm going to turn off the battery disconnect for the original power system, and then I'm going to see if I still have 12 volt power or not. And the answer is not. There's nothing lighting up on the panel here. Okay, so that's good. I'm actually glad I figured that out because I wasn't entirely sure how to be able to completely cut power to the unit. So we're going to go ahead and pull this cover off. There, just like that. That was easier than I thought it was going to be. And then we've got these two screws, one right here and one right here. We're going to go ahead and take those out and find out if I can do this one-handed. Oops. And before I do that, see these wires up here? Focus. So I need to take a picture of those wire locations to make sure I get the new one wired up correctly. These little screws in here, they're tiny. Make sure you have a tiny screwdriver. Fortunately, I do. I'm gonna go ahead and take these out of the wall first though, I think. Although, really won't make too much difference since the power is all cut. I'm not going to actually pull it off the wall until I unscrew those little screws, which might take me 2 hands. I have this handy dandy tool that has a really small flathead on one side and a really small Phillips on the other. I need to be able to get close enough to see it, so sorry, can't film and do that at the same time. So I've unscrewed all 3 wires and pulled them loose from their terminals. And by the way, it's ground, COM, and plus 12 volts, not 120. Duh. And we're just going to go ahead and pull this guy off the wall, I think. I'm not quite unscrewed far enough. Yeah, there we go. And then we're going to pull the wires out the back here. We just need to wire up the new one. Well, first we got to do the hole template because as you can see, this one's mounted diagonally. And the new one is straight across. So I need to get a piece of tape and do a little measurement and then be ready to screw in the holes. So be right back. So they give you this template, which I managed to get almost completely level. Shocking for me, not very good at leveling things. And I want to make sure that I was far enough away from my servo panel. And then they also give you this mounting bracket, which is actually pretty cool. I'm going to take the wall anchors out because I don't need those. But take those out and then these two screw in according to template right here. And then you cut the tie between them and then just snap on the thermostat after you wire it up. So pretty cool. Let's get to screwing. Okay, so I've got the screws well started but not completely seated because I want to see if I can get the template and the tape off. maybe be able to do, oh good, that ripped, good. But see if I can do this without having, there we go, that was good. This side's gonna be harder, I think. Oh, goody, okay. So that's all off. I do need to get a pair of scissors to cut this part though, and then I'll finish screwing it in the rest of the way. My toolbox is in an outside compartment, and it generally requires moving a few things to get to things. So I keep a screwdriver in here, and I do as many things as I can just with scissors, just so I can avoid having to get out the toolbox. Now, kind of lazy. So now we're gonna finish screwing these in all the way. And I might actually stop and read the instructions. We'll see, maybe not. Now, I do also keep my drill inside, and I guess I could have just gone zoot zoot, but I chose not to do that. By the way, the template was attached to the top of the instructions here. So now they want us to connect the thermostat wiring and then place it on the mounting screws. So I'm gonna need 2 hands to get the wires hooked up. I'll show you what that looks like once I get it done. Yeah, I definitely wasn't doing that one-handed. These are the push-in type connectors. So basically you push the little button down that's right behind the wire here. I can get you a view. Push the button down behind the wire, shove the wire in, and then release the button and tug on the wire to make sure it's secure. And I'm gonna say double check your connections to make sure you got them right. And then all we have to do is find the mounting. I don't think I can do this left-handed. Not quite. I think I got a switch to make sure we actually get seated. All right, well, it looks like I got it fairly level, fairly well centered. So that's cool. Let's get busy turning the power back on. And for me, the battery disconnect switch is down there by the door. So now we're gonna go ahead and turn off all these lights, because every time you disconnect and reconnect the 12 volt, all these lights come on. I don't really understand why that is, but I know that it is. Okay, so do I have to do something on the unit itself to turn it on? Let me think about that for a moment. Here we go. Okay, it's starting up. I thought it self-started. So we got 4 watts of solar coming in. It says we're off. We're gonna go to menu, plus, switch, back to pages. And if I did this correctly, hopefully this turns on. I might have to read directions. I was expecting that to be lit up by now. All right, let me check into this, see what I messed up. Okay, and here we are, all lit up. The problem was that I didn't have one of the wires fully seated, which is what I figured the problem was. So now I gotta figure out how to do all the settings and stuff, which, as you can see, we've got lots of choices here, including the ability to make a schedule. So I gotta figure out how to enable the Wi-Fi, and I'm not sure if I do that from the app on my phone or from the unit. So a little more reading, and I'll let you know what I figure out. So download the app from the App Store, create an account. So you're gonna connect your Bluetooth first. That's the easiest. And you can see it's right here, it's identifying your unit, and our name for the device. And then there are a few settings that you can change from the screen, but you don't need to worry about that right now. Now that you've selected your device, choose Connect by Bluetooth. Once it's done synchronizing automatically, it'll connect. To change the set point for either heating or cooling, click on either cool or heat and adjust the set point up or down using the arrows. Next, we need to connect to Wi-Fi. So from the selection of the thermostat, we want to go to settings and edit Wi-Fi settings. So it's scanning for the Wi-Fi name. I'm choosing mine. I'm putting in my password, which I'm going to not show you. Once you've entered your password and press send, then you get this screen. Go ahead and select OK. You'll see this screen, and then you're going to go back, select your thermostat again, and then choose Wi-Fi to connect. And you'll see it says loading. See the Wi-Fi symbol up above. So cool. It was not too difficult. Press the red power button to turn it on and see if the system works. The power light turns green, and you can see that we are set to cool and furnace. I'm now checking the fan button to see what mode we're in, and cycling through all the modes until we get back to full auto. Now that we've turned it on by the app, let's go take a look at the thermostat on the wall. Okay, so it is on, connected to Wi-Fi, And this little symbol up here, oops, means that it's cooling, see the snowflake, or heating. And this is the full auto mode fan sign. So I'm going to turn it off, and then I'm going to go see if I can turn it on from outside. So I've opened the app, connected to the thermostat, and now we're going to go see if I can turn it on from a distance away from the RV where I'm not actually connected to my Wi-Fi on board. And the answer is, why, yes, I can. How cool is that? See the big green power button lit up? Very cool. Man, this thing is super cool. And when I did the installation yesterday, I didn't bother to read all the directions because that's just the way I roll. I did get out the directions this morning and read them because the one problem I was having yesterday was that the temperature that was being displayed for the ambient room temperature on the front of the thermostat was like 6-7 degrees higher than the actual temperature. Now, in and of itself, that's not a huge deal because if there was no way to fix that, which there is, stay tuned, but if there were no way to fix that, then you just adjust your set temperature for air conditioning or heating correspondingly to offset the display temperature. However, I sat down and read all the directions this morning, go figure, and figured out how to actually change some of the settings to make it work most effectively. So I've got this cool little, handheld laser instant read thermometer thing that you can point, squeeze the trigger, and it measures the temperature at exactly that point. So I did it at a couple of different places in the bedroom because that's what's really most important to me, to get the most accurate temperature I could near the thermostat. And I'm sorry, I didn't film this part. On the opposite side of the wall from the thermostat, I also have an indoor-outdoor thermometer weather station. And I checked that as well. That's not 100% accurate. It was accurate enough. But I ended up setting the thermostat to the actual ambient room temperature within, a quarter degree basically. And so that means that I'll be getting the temperature that I think I'm getting if I'm running the AC or the heat. So that's pretty cool. The other thing that I couldn't figure out yesterday is it's got a pretty bright display. Now the display dims automatically after about 30 seconds, and that's cool, but it's right over the headboard, and I really wasn't thrilled with having it even dimly lit up all night long. I don't really need to sleep with the night light, thank you very much. Read the directions, guys. So there's a day mode and a night mode. And I have decided for now just to leave it set on night mode, which means, you don't see anything on the display until you touch the display. I may change my mind about that later, but I doubt it because I really don't want to have to change it every single time. Because I can just pull up my phone like this and go to my thermostat, and now I can see what the temperatures are set to. And I can see that it believes it's 73 degrees. 73 degrees inside. Let's see if I can get out of the glare. 73 degrees inside, 66 degrees outside. Now here's what's interesting about that. And that's like super cool. And that displays on the thermostat itself as well. And so what is cool about that is because it's connected via the internet by Wi-Fi to my Wi-Fi router, it's picking up the closest weather it can to my actual location. So it's showing the forecast temperature, not the actual temperature, and I'm fine with that because I have a temperature sensor mounted in an enclosure, so it gets a pretty accurate reading that is zip tied to the back of my ladder, and that's what displays from my local temperature. So this is actually telling me what the forecast temperature, well, not forecast, but the locally measured at whatever the closest weather station is, temperature is. Hopefully that made some sense. It just sounded confusing to me as I'm thinking about it, but I think you get the picture. Anyway, so far I'm loving this thing. This is much more of an installation video than it is a review video because obviously I've only had it installed for, 18 or so hours. So I'll come back and I'll give you an update on it further down the road. But here are the reasons that I did this. And it was expensive. I paid, I think, about $239. Here are the reasons that I wanted this thing. Thing number one, my original Dometic thermostat that came with the rig, the number that displayed the temperature was very difficult to read. It was small and it was dim, and there was no way to fix that. Now, is that a big enough deal for changing a thermostat? No, no, it's not. But I wanted a big bright number. The next thing was, it was white, and all of my other instruments back in my bedroom are black. So I didn't like the contrast. Again, was that a good enough reason for getting a new thermostat? No, not at all. But I love the thought that this one is set. I have it set so that it's basically in full auto mode. So I have a set minimum temperature, at which point the heat will come on, and a set maximum temperature, at which point the air conditioner will come on. Now, I will need to be a little bit careful about that when I'm not plugged in as I am right now, but the temperature that I have set is 90 degrees, so it'll be fine. And I have it set at that point just in case I'm away from home and Kit's still here. Because I don't want it getting too hot inside for him. And if it turns out to be that, the ceiling fans aren't enough to be able to keep the air circulating at a temperature that's comfortable, I now have the ability to go onto my phone and turn on my air conditioner, or go onto my phone and turn on my heater. It has so many cool features that you can set a schedule program like you would on a thermostat in your sticks and bricks. I'm not going to bother doing that because I don't run my units that often. But it's really cool that it's there. And as you probably know, I'm just kind of a tech geek anyway. I just love the tech. So I love that feature. Now, wait a minute, you might say. What about all these YouTubers that I see doing basically advertisements for Waggle, the pet monitoring system, and talking about how great that is? Well, you know what's great about that? You can get a notification if your rig gets too hot, or if your rig, I guess, gets too cold. I'm not actually sure about that. And what I keep hearing everybody say is, so you get the notification, then you need to get back to your rig right away. No. With the Easy Touch, I get the notification, and it's like, oh, that's warmer than I want. Let me turn on the AC. Done. How much better is that than having to interrupt what it was that I was doing in order to get back to my rig to make sure the kit's okay? It's a no-brainer to me. Waggle is probably a great item, but maybe for people that don't have another internet source, so that they can have a single thing, if they don't have an internet source that they can leave connected all the time to be able to run something like this. Or they don't have a thermostat, an actual thermostat to be able to replace. But what I'm saying right now, guys, is if you have a thermostat in your rig, if you've got heat, if you've got AC, oh, and by the way, it also knows that I've got a heat strip as part of my unit, so I can switch between all three of them. If you've got that opportunity, you might want to take a look at this instead of considering a Waggle. I don't know, I can't remember what the actual cost for Waggle is up front. Well, I think I've got a good idea because another YouTube channel is giving one away this month. So if you'd like to win a Waggle, you still have a few days left to do that, go to Like There's No Tomorrow. I'll try and remember to put a link in the description down below. They're giving away a Waggle, and I think I heard them say on their video that it's a $359 retail value. Now, that said, all of the YouTubers that I've seen touting the Waggle have been offering a discount code of 50%, so that would get it down to like 150, 170, 50 to 60%, get it down to about $150, $175. So that's to buy the unit up front. And if you get it at a 50% discount, that's less than I paid for my thermostat at $239. However, in order for Waggle to work for you, that was fun to say, you have to have an ongoing subscription. And I don't know what that costs, but for some reason I've got the number of like $40 stuck in my head. I'll look it up and put it on the screen for you, see what it really is. I don't like ongoing subscriptions for anything. I would rather buy an instrument that I can use and not have to pay for the privilege of using the thing that I already paid for. Hope that makes sense. Once again, thank you so much for watching. I hope you got something out of this. Please do leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you thought. Let me know whether or not you'd consider getting an Easy Touch thermostat like this. And we'll see you next time.